name is Spencer Guerrero, and I'm joined by my colleague Aisha Iring today. We're here to talk to you about companies, and in specific, sales companies. There are thousands of sales companies that exist in the world, and many door-to-door sales companies as well. As we have done countless hours of research trying to find a company which could benefit from our help, we stumbled upon a company that's based here out of Provo, Utah, a company called Aptive Environmental. They're a pest control company with a massive door-to-door sales program. And Aisha conducted a series of interviews with different employees to find background for us and find ways in which we can help this company improve. Aisha?
When conducting these interviews, I spoke with different recruiting managers who have been with Aptive up to 3 years. They were able to give us an insider perspective to the recruiting process. In Chapter 3, it speaks about understanding people at work. When asked, how do you evaluate the characteristics in your recruits in order to determine whether or not they should try summer sales, our interviewee says, I look at their nonverbals and paraverbals. Do they make eye contact? Do their paraverbals point toward confidence? Are they personable? Instead of trying to determine their interest or willingness to sell, they are trying to actually sell their recruits on coming out for the summer. Chapter 5 speaks of transparency. When asked, to some extent, will you take anyone and everyone, even if you don't think they'll succeed? He says, I'm too busy for that, and there's not enough compensation for me for those who won't succeed. Some kids are so sure of their ability, even if we warn them, it might not be a good fit. So instead of helping those who struggle, they may be rejected as a recruit or even sent home halfway through the summer. Some who want to sell are brought along even if the manager doesn't think they'll succeed. Justin will propose some solutions to these dilemmas in the paper. And then finally in Chapter 6, incentives and motivation. If someone doesn't portray the characteristics necessary to sell, an Aptive employee concedes. Have they done hard things or accomplished other hard things in their life to show being a hard worker? We are told they look for people who are willing to work hard, but instead of focusing on the work, they motivate employees with trips and prizes, alluding that if one works the hours and memorizes the pitch, these incentives and goals will be easy to reach.
The problem with Aptive is simple. They set unclear expectations, they're not transparent, and they're not integrable in the hiring process. We have found a solution that we know will work for them, and that is to be more clear, because clarity improves performance. How does clarity improve performance, you say? Well, clarity improves integrity. As we've mentioned before, when they are in the hiring process, they sometimes say things and make unrealistic promises to their employees, which is not good. What happens is these employees become discouraged throughout the summer. And these managers end up having to send people home halfway through, or they deny people outright the opportunity to learn and to grow. Guy Kawasaki said that the most important thing is to hire people who complement you and who are better than you in specific areas. Good people hire people who are better than themselves. Average people hire less talented people to feel better about themselves. The problem with Aptive is sometimes they tend to do these things, these negative things, which produce negative results. How else does clarity improve performance? Well, clarity creates transparency. The problem with Aptive is that when they are offering these deals, these throwing out cash as a signing bonus, they say things like, work hard, memorize the pitch, and you'll be successful, which is not always the case. They even offer incentives to people, such as cruises, or extra cash, or a higher percentage of money that they will get from these contracts. And it shows, a quote from the book says, that research shows that companies using pay-for-performance systems actually achieve higher productivity, profits, and customer service. These systems are more effective than praise or recognition in increasing retention of higher performing employees by creating higher levels of commitment to the company. And although this is a true statement, the problem with Aptive is that sometimes they offer incentives that are unattainable. They say you can hit 300 over the summer, when in actuality, only the top 5% of employees will hit that number. They say that you can do these things, but it's like reaching for a carrot that you'll never quite get. Their incentives would work if they were only attainable. But what is the most important way that clarity improves performance? Clarity sets expectations. What do you expect? What do they expect? The expectancy tells us that if employees believe that the work environment is not conducive to performing well, resources are lacking, or roles are unclear, expectancy and motivation will indeed suffer. Employees don't have clear expectations. They are told to make their own goals, to go out and do what they think they can do. Without having a clear vision, there's no way for them to achieve these goals. Their managers say to visualize what it's like to get 250. For a rookie that's never gone out and sold, how can you visualize what it's like to attain something that you've never attained or you've never seen attained? The expectations are unclear. And when employees starts to sell only one a day, or they don't sell any for a week, they become discouraged and their performance suffers and the company loses revenue. If they were to implement the hierarchy of needs, they would see success. They would see success by actually explaining to employees how they can find the physiological, the safety, social network, the self-esteem that they need, and they would show them how they could actually self-actualize. However, the problem is that a lot of these managers who are in these positions don't have the proper training of how to get people from point A to point B, from the bottom of the pyramid to self-actualize. They've hit great numbers in the past, they've sold a lot, they know what they're doing, but they don't have the proper training to fuel their employees, to get them to succeed. And that is why their performance suffers over the course of the summer. So how does clarity improve performance? Clarity improves integrity. Clarity creates transparency. And clarity sets expectations. Clarity improves performance. Thank you.
All right, now we